Ladies and gentlemen, here I am at Costa Academy with the Eternal MMA bantamweight champion Rod Costa. Eternal MMA 82 Feb 10th. You'll be defending against Alan Philpott. Mate, there is a lot of beef going back and forth. What is the issue between you and Alan Philpott?
I don't know. Look, man, he's always been super nice to me. He actually added me and he started talking to me, trying to be my boy, like ages ago. And we've exchanged messages here and there, you know, always friendly. And then all of a sudden, because in his eye, I'm avoiding him, straight after the fight in Sydney, he just started talking mad nonsense about me avoiding whatever, me running. It went very quick, very negative and insulting, you know. So I don't even know the guy, to be honest.
I was going to say, I think it stems from the fact that I believe I asked you going into the fight to Eternal and Philpott, and I said, you know, what do you think? Do you want the winner? And you said you wanted the winner. And then he won, and then he claims that you never wanted that fight. Were you offered the Philpott fight straight away?
I wasn't offered. I would never deny any fight. You can ask Ben and Cam, and they can be honest with you. You know, just because I train with Ben, people think I'm getting together with him and organizing Eternal. Ben literally comes to me like, Rod, this guy, and I've never said no, and that's it. Yeah, I remember that conversation, and I will fight him anytime. But I think we can bring the interview back. If I'm not mistaken, I said, yeah, I wouldn't mind a winner between Philpott and Sean. I actually thought Sean was gonna beat him, and I stand by what I said. I didn't mind, but that was then, and I still didn't mind. I never got offered Philpott because before my fight in Sydney, I said I wouldn't fight in October. I didn't say I didn't want Philpott. I didn't say I didn't want Eternal. I didn't say anything. I just said October I'm out.
Just time off, or?
Yeah, I had a few problems that I wanted to deal with. That was before the Ethan fight, right? And I don't like to bring that up because that's not why I lost the Ethan fight. But that's some things I wanted to deal with.
There was a few issues, some injuries going in.
There was a few issues, and then that dude's like, I would love to sit down and have a conversation with a mediator and a lunatic, because but also, to me, it just seems like he's trying to be a UFC guy, trying to create trouble where there isn't. Because literally on the day of the fight, he's super nice to me. Straight after the fight, he turns into this bad persona, you know?
I think he had an issue with, I think you took a grappling match, or was it on Battlegrounds, and you supposedly, or like what he thought was that you had an injured back, and that's why you didn't take the fight in October.
It is. I agreed to Battleground, which again, you can talk to George, unless he thinks every promotion guy is my best friend. You can talk to George. I agreed to that fight months back, like either before or the same time I agreed to Ethan's fight. I had the fight, and I think it was a week after or something, the Battleground, and I didn't train, didn't do anything, just didn't pull out because I agreed to the thing. I signed the contract. I was the main event. I didn't want to go to George and be like, and pull out. So I did the fight. I just accepted whatever the result was going to be. But I was set in my mind that I didn't want to compete in October. And throughout all my years, when did I start back at Eternal? 2020. I've never said no to a fight. I've taken multiple short notices.
Oh, you've done like 24 hours notice.
I've never said no to a fight, and I never would. I've said this to people, and people know this about me. If the day that Ben comes to me and he offers me a person, even if I think I'm going to lose and I say no, I'm not fighting ever again. It was just a matter of like, before I knew who was going to win that fight, before I fought, I said I'm just not doing October. I never said I wouldn't do a show. Just that one, I was like, Ben, I just did, because I know Perth, whenever there's a Perth show, most likely they want me in, Becca, they want the Perth guys in, you know? So even before anything was offered, I just told them I'm going to take this one out, rest, and then I'm back being the year.
So you took almost the grappling, you basically wanted to kind of fulfill what you had already said.
Thing,
yeah, so it's like you wanted to do what you'd already said you would do, but not take on anything on top.
And also, it's a grappling match. it was a grappling match a week after the fight. I'm not doing wrestling. I don't have to do anything. That's why it was so boring. I don't need to justify it. It's just like I took that fight was agreed to. All of these are proven. There's proof of all of this. When I said I'll take the fight against Sean or Alan, me telling Ben and Cam that I wouldn't fight, go and ask Cam and Ben. Do you think they'll lie for me? Really? Go and ask them if they ever offer me the fight. No one's ever offered me the fight because they know I wasn't going to fight. So they wouldn't come to me and be like, oh, Lord, we want... No, I'm not fighting October. I've never asked them anything, and I asked them that. And then as soon as the Perth show was announced, I don't think Ben even told me it was Philpott. I think they just announced it. I don't give a fuck, man. He really thinks I'm scared of him? The guy literally that lost to... I beat Van Heeden, and Van Heeden beat me as well, but I beat Van Heeden finished him. I beat Diego finished him, but I'm scared of him. I beat Sean Etchell, he beat Sean Etchell, but I'm scared of him, sure. It's just, I don't believe he believes in what he's saying. I think
it's all just...
It's just noise. He's trying to be... Either he's that or he's that type of guy that he needs to say things for him to believe. Every loss that guy has had, go look at his posts on Instagram, go look at his interviews. Every loss that he's had, he's got multiple excuses. And then he's the type of guy that gives a bunch of excuses like, no excuse. Well, you just said the excuses, man, you know? You already planted that seed. Even with your mate Abdallah, he fought Abdallah, and he literally in multiple interviews said he was smashing Abdallah before he got caught by that. I love Abdallah. Abdallah might fuck me up. He's very good, but he's not. That thing was not on, and Abdallah has no clue about how to finish head and arms. That's a fact. That's the biggest give up in the history of fucking MMA. Do you disagree? Be honest. Be honest.
Mate, I thought it was a nice, tight arm triangle by Abdallah.
Seconds between Abdallah, the guy that only submitted Kune and fucking Philpott. Sure.
Well, is there anything about Philpott's game that you respect? I mean, where do you think he sits in the bantamweight division in Australia?
I think he's good. I think he's very good. I think his striking is very good. I think his grappling is better than people give him credit for. I really do. I don't think he's a walk in the park, but he's a quitter. You know, he might submit me even. He might knock me out. He might submit me. I'm not quitting. He's a quitter. I can give you multiple examples of when he quit. You know. Yeah, he's good for sure. If I don't watch out, he'll get me. You know. I think the mistake I had with the Van Heeden fight, and I hope to not make that mistake again, is I don't think I'm a high level striker, but maybe I was too confident in terms of like no one can hurt me. You know. And it's not like I went in there complacent or anything like that, but looking back, which is easier, but looking back, I'm like, should have approached it a little bit different. You know, like, I kind of had that thing where I've been in a couple of wars and hadn't really been hurt on the feet, you know, apart from like Jenkins' leg, you know, but it was the leg that was hurt. It wasn't like I never got rocked.
So you think you're going to be overconfident with the striking?
Not overconfident, but a little bit. But not because I thought, I didn't even think I would knock him out again. I think that first match I had with Van Heeden was an outlier. Right? I think he just was thinking I was going to grapple, and then I caught him, threw him off the game. And I think the last one was an outlier as well. I think what really happens if me and Van Heeden fights again is going to be a very competitive match, and someone's going to win. You know, I think it's going to be a lot of grappling and things like that. But the reason why I'm saying this, I'm not overlooking Philpott. I know he's great. I know he's good at striking. And I know he's better than people give him credit for in the grappling. All of those fights he had good grappling exchanges until he became a mental midget and quit, you know.
Is he the number one, you know, aside from you, do you think he's the number one bantamweight in Australia?
No, I think it's Cody Haddon or Sean Gauchi. I don't know much about Sean Gauchi, but I think Cody and Sean beat him kind of easy.
Well, after this Philpott fight, let's say hypothetically you take him out, do you want Cody Haddon in Perth?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, man, that seems to be I've heard even him saying about there's something between me and Cody. I got nothing against Cody. I got nothing against Abdallah, any of these guys, I love to fight Cody. But if it doesn't, or if it doesn't match up, I don't think he's running from me or anything. But he's got his opportunity. He's a champion of hex. You know, if it comes together, it comes together. If it doesn't come together, it doesn't come together. You know, I want them all to succeed anyway. You know, but if I can get a fight against some other stuff, I think Cody or Sean are the best bantamweights together with me. You know.
Are you done with featherweight, or if you get this victory, is there something about you that really wants that double champ status?
Man, I want Van Hayden again. I want Ethan again. But I'm not delusional. I think I do think Van Hayden deserves to get a shot at like a bigger promotion, you know. But and the way the last fight happened, it's not like they're gonna give me that unless something happens, right? Like as soon as I TKO'd him, if the next fight they came to me like, Rod, you want to fight Van Hayden again? We're like, nah. But like then things happened. He won a bunch of fights, and then he was a champion, and that made sense. So if it makes sense again, I'll like to fight him. Competitive. I like the guy, but competitiveness. And I like to fight Ethan as well. I think both those matches I can do better. So I'm not done, but I want to concentrate on bantamweight until someone that I want to do makes sense. You know, I wouldn't just be searching for the belt then.
Well, we're going to talk about bantamweight. I mean, I'm sure you've heard the noise about people saying you can't even make bantamweight. I mean, you've heard this. What is your frustration with that?
I got no frustration, man. Again, it's just, I'm sure other people believe that, right? The two people that I've heard say this, and anyone else can bring that up, but it's Tyrone, which is Cody's dad, who seems to be a little bit, out there sometimes. For no reason he said it. And again, I don't want to keep defending myself when I don't have to, but that first fight with Manu, it wasn't fully short notice, but I had a few weeks. So I went to Banning Camp, I was like, can you guys ask him? And you can ask Manu that. I'm sure he wouldn't lie to protect me. And I asked, is it okay if you have a few grams? And they gave me 200 grams, I think. But I told him, like, if not, oh, good, I'll take it. But I'm sure he wouldn't mind a couple of grams as well. It's a little bit short notice, you know? And I weighed, so I think I weighed 61.9 or something, right? So I had a couple of hundred grams. So then, because I weighed that, I don't know if the guys on the, like Tyrone or whoever thinks I didn't make weight, think because the weight was 71.9 and they didn't knew that we agreed to catch weight, thought that I didn't make it. But that's the story on that one. And then for actual, I made a weight. Mitch, I want your opinion. Answer me this. Do you think I'm going to go to the commission and I'm going to ask a buddy of mine in the commission because I'm overweight to like, and you've been to the weightings in Perth, everyone's just around me. You think I'm just like, hey man, please, like, what? It makes no sense, but there's no.
It would get out, and I would tell everyone.
Yeah. And then he keeps saying that, oh, but Costa won't be able to cheat because I'll be there. Yeah, all right, man. You're gonna be looking ridiculous with your 3-4 little mates, fucking looking over the scale. Go ahead, bro. I don't give a fuck.
Well, mate, talking about the actual matchup, I mean, how do you see it playing out February 10th?
I don't know. I think it'll be a tough fight, and I plan to make him quit, like he's quit multiple times before. You know, when someone's that much of a quitter, you plant a little seed that they're going to give up. That's what I think is going to happen.
And finally, before I let you go, I mean, we've talked about this earlier, but you are no spring chicken anymore. You're not a young 20-year-old. How many fights are left? Are you even thinking about that, or is there plenty more Rod Costa left?
I don't know. That's a tough fight. I definitely don't. I'm 35. I'm young in MMA, I feel, you know. But and like that back thing was good because like my back's really good now. I've been forced to take a step back and take care of the, the things that you neglect sometimes. I was fighting so much, I feel that I kind of neglected strength and conditioning. I was doing strength and conditioning, but not specific for the problems that I might encounter, you know. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm not planning long things, you know. Like I'll keep fighting. If I lose to Philpott, maybe that's it, because if at 35 I lose to a guy that quits that much, like, what's the point? I'm not saying I am going to stop, you know.
You're saying it could potentially, if you lose to Philpott, you could call it.
Yeah, I could. It depends how I lose, you know. I'm not saying he's bad or anything, but at this point in my career, if I lose to Philpott, who I don't really respect as a competitor, what's the point, you know? It's not going to affect my life. I'm just going to be angry like I am with any fight I lose, you know? But I'm not saying this to annoy him. I'm not saying this to upset him or to try to get under his skin. He's a quitter. Anyone that wants to debate with me, and even if he beats me, he has quit multiple times. And in my mind, if I lose to someone like that, what's the point, you know? So we'll see after this fight how it goes. I'm not planning on stopping. I'm planning on making him quit and move on to the next best thing in the bantamweight, you know?
And there is actually one more thing I wanted to ask you. You had a few fights early on, and then you disappeared from MMA, and then you made this resurgence in 2020, and you've had an incredible amount of fights in that time. Did you ever think you would come back and have an impact in Australian MMA like you have?
I didn't. And I think that kind of at some point that kind of there's a bit of a roller coaster, because I think we talked about this before, but I started, I'll do this one fight, then I'll do this next fight, and then they're talking about, and then all of a sudden I'm fighting Khan, you know, who's a bit weird but like very good fighter, right? And I think I beat him, and then it kind of like, whoa, like I can fight these better guys, you know, instead of fighting like Jamie, no disrespect, you know, but so that was a bit of a roller coaster, and I'm glad if I hadn't gone to this level, I wouldn't have kept going, you know. I wouldn't have want to just fight nobodies for the sake of fighting nobodies, you know.
Yeah, I feel like you got a really unique journey where, I mean, everyone wants to make it to the UFC, but you've just got this sort of like, I'll see what happens.
Yeah. And it's funny. Like after the Van Heeden fight, like if I had won that double belt, I feel like I had a good shot of doing something, you know. I'm not saying UFC, but not a bigger promotion, something a little bit more meaningful. And that's not something I ever expected, you know. So it's cool, and I'm glad I'm at this point. I'll keep trying to get the high level, you know. Yeah.
Well, it's been awesome to be part of the journey, and I'm looking to see where it goes. So best of luck, Feb 10th.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, brother.